Hello. How y'all doing today? It's Memorial Day. So you don't say Happy Memorial Day because that's not what it's about. So I hope you all have spent a couple minutes today since you woke up thinking about what today's all about. Today's about those who have fallen for us over the history of this country. So while we get a nice day off, while it's the start of summer, we get a great day of baseball. It's going to be a beautiful day out there for us. There's a reason that we get to enjoy today. So, before we go into it, let's all, I'm going to take a moment here, just let y'all know something to think about today. It's important. Don't just think about the day off. Don't just think about the baseball. You know what I mean? Think about why we get the day off today. Hey, Ethan, how you doing today? So that being said, let us get to some good analysis because we got a lot to talk about. We got a full Memorial Day full of really fun baseball. And most of the lineups that I want to talk about have come out already for the main slate, so that makes it a lot nicer for us. The 4 o'clock games, not so much. Excuse me, but we'll get most of everything in here with confirmed lineups, which is exactly what makes it, the point of doing this at 11 a.m. So let's get going. First game up, I'm going to go like I always go. I'm going to go in chronological order. So I'll start with the 105 games, and then I'll just keep working my way down. I did all the work. I have all the splits. I have all the hot and cold information. I know how the pitchers are going to go. So this is going to be pretty easy. Just a question of letting y'all know what I did last night. I spent a few hours doing this. So let's take a look. First game, Miami at the Nationals. This one is the easiest game. Max Scherzer going against the Nationals. Hey, Grace, how you doing today? Max Scherzer going against the Nationals is about as easy as it gets. Jose Urena is one of the worst pitchers in the game. Max Scherzer going against the Marlins is as easy as it gets. Urena going against the Nationals is as easy as it gets. Excuse me. In terms of stacking the Nationals. I've said it before, if Andrew Cashner isn't the worst number one starter in the major leagues, it's Jose Urena, and it's not really even close with those two. So let's take a look at this game a little closer, and we'll see why I feel that way. So I talked yesterday when I was all in on the Rockies. Hey, Edgar, how you doing today? I talked yesterday when I was all in on the Rockies about how we're going to need to offset that with cheap pitching and some cheap bats. And I recommended taking some of the Marlins at the top of the order, specifically Harold Ramirez and Anderson, because they were by far the hottest. Ramirez relatively hot, but Anderson has been one of the hottest hitters in baseball over the last week. So now we have Scherzer going against a Marlins team that decided to rest Anderson today in favor of Martin Prado, who has been absolutely stone cold. So as much as you would have liked Scherzer, just looking at him going against the Marlins, it's even better than that once you look at the actual lineup. I know Granderson's been doing okay. Harold Ramirez has still been relatively hot. So I can understand if you want to take a one-off punt on like FanDuel for $2,300. He's super, super cheap. But no one else on this Marlins team has been hitting particularly well. Starlin Castro was $2,200 for a reason on DraftKings. It's because he has been awful all season. He's hitting worse than the AAA player that gets called up and has no clue what he's doing. So Scherzer is going to be my number one pick here, but it's really close to someone else, and I'll get to there later on. But I really, really do like Scherzer on this main slate, and I'm going to work to try to make sure I can fit him in or one of the elite pitchers. This is not going to be a day where when I looked at it overall, I saw a lot of expensive bats or an expensive stack that really begged anything. I don't think there's really much over, 5.5. I think who's going against Jeffrey Rodriguez? The Red Sox. Yeah, the Red Sox are at like 6. But even that, as good as that is, it's not like a huge slam dunk. Hey, Patrick, how you doing? Hey, it's my pleasure. That's why I'm doing this. I love doing it. And, after the fall, the last month, the way my leg has been with the pain, it's been a lot harder at night to sit there and do the typing and writing. and everything that I had been doing. So if I can do the research and, without the pain, and then do this, and it still hurts to sit at the computer a lot. This thing digs into my bad leg and my hip. But I get it done, and it's a lot quicker to do it this way. And I was a national champion debater. I've said it before. And when I was doing that, I used to have stomach problems. So I used to compete in pain and sick all the time. So I have no problem talking through the pain whatsoever. So, I can just let my brain go in overdrive and fight through it as my body is screaming at me to stop and go lay down. But that's another issue. So again, Scherzer, probably the best pitcher of the day. I know that's not really saying a lot, but combined with the Marlins playing a worse lineup than we would have expected, their low total, everything else, I'm going all in on Scherzer here. Wind blowing in slightly, also a slight benefit. Any little thing that we can get. And in here, Scherzer is just going to be, probably the highest scoring player on the slate. Again, there's one guy I like almost as much, but we'll get there. On the Miami side, as I've said, Jose Urena is a terrible pitcher who's been pitching decently lately. His last couple starts have been okay. I think he had like an 11 and an 18 DKP, if I remember correctly. So it's not like he's been doing poorly per se, but he is still a bad pitcher, and his ceiling is going to be around that 18. And this is a Nationals team that is doing well. The only cold hitter they have in the lineup today is Kurt Suzuki catching, but Rendon has been one of the hottest hitters in baseball over the last week, just like Anderson, even hotter than Anderson, though. Soto has been incredibly hot. Trey Turner and Eaton should be able to get on base and get a steal today without much of a problem. And this is the kind of hitter that Matt Adams really loves to eat up on. So the 1 through 5 here, and then Gerardo Parra, who's been really good for the Nats since they got him at 3,900 with dual eligibility. Those are 6 guys on the Nats that I'm really, really big fan of playing. Rendon is 5,800, which is absolutely out of this ballpark insane. But if you are spending down on pitching, the Nationals are going to be one of the sneakier stacks, considering that I think a lot of other people are going to go towards like the Yankees and the Rockies and the Red Sox and that kind of stuff. Well, maybe not the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, but the Coors Field game. You know what I mean? All right, next up, we got the Tigers and the Orioles. So this one is a little interesting for a couple of reasons. First, we have Gabriel Noah going for the Orioles. He has been working like as an opener and out of the bullpen, but he's been going over 50 to 60 pitches. So there's a possibility that while he's not going to get 100 pitches. I don't think there's any chance he's going to get 100 pitches. I think that there's a decent chance that he's not opening today. He is the starter. So they are going to let him go as long as he is able to physically go. So you have a guy at 5,400 going against the worst offense in the American League, who's playing a worse lineup than they normally would, which is crazy because the only guy they're really resting is Dawel Lugo. But Brandon Dixon has been significantly worse than him over the last week. So you have a guy 5,400 who could probably get 75, 80 pitches. That could get you 4 or 5, maybe